Greetings, brothers and sisters. What is up? Welcome back to yet another one from us. Trusting, hoping, and believing that all is well with you. This will come as shocking news for some of you, and this will come as good news for most of you. Somalians and Ethiopians, I'm sure you received this news as the best news that has ever happened to your two countries. We have been reporting a lot about Somalia and Ethiopia having territorial feud. It has not been an easy one for both countries, as Ethiopia had been requesting to be given, a port in Somaliland and for them to have access in the ocean so that they can be transporting their goods and bringing in goods directly to their country without having to, make deals and agreements with neighboring countries. Ethiopia is a big economy. Ethiopia is a growing economy. Ethiopia has proven that it does need a port. But unfortunately, because of the borders that were created by people who came and imposed them on us, Ethiopia finds itself disadvantaged despite their growth, despite their economic excellence. It is just a situation that is very unfortunate for the country. But right now we are seeing both Somalia and Ethiopia making peace. So this is what is happening, brothers and sisters. Ethiopia and Somalia have agreed to end their bitter dispute over Addis Ababa's plan to build a port in the breakaway Republic of Somaliland following talks in Turkey. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan welcomed the historic agreement, which he said would eventually ensure landlocked Ethiopia's access to the sea. At the press conference, he held hands with Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and Somalian President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, who both agreed to respect one another's sovereignty. The two neighbors have been at loggerheads since January when Ethiopia signed a maritime deal with Somaliland, which Somalia considers as part of its territory. It prompted fears of a wider regional conflict as Egypt has been backing Somalia, largely due to its anger with Ethiopia for building a dam on the River Nile. Erdogan said the agreement announced on Wednesday night in the Turkish capital Ankara was the first steps towards a new beginning. I congratulate both my brothers for reaching the historic reconciliation with devotion and thank them for their constructive attitude, he said. President Mohamud said his country was ready to work with Ethiopian leadership and the Ethiopian people, while Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed insisted Ethiopia's efforts to secure a reliable access to the sea did not threaten Somalia, and the two had addressed the misunderstandings that have occurred over the past year. According to the Ankara Joint Declaration, the two Horn of African neighbors are to convene in February to hold technical talks. In the interim, they will strive to reach mutually beneficial commercial arrangements to ensure Ethiopia gains access to the sea under Somalia's sovereignty. It is not clear if Ethiopia has discarded the deal it signed with Somaliland, something demanded by Somalia at earlier mediation efforts. Last month, Somaliland elected a new president, former opposition leader Abdirahman Mohamed Abdullahi, who promised to review the maritime deal. During his inauguration speech on Thursday morning, he made no mention of it. So, brothers and sisters, this is progressive news. We accept this news, we welcome this news with both hands. We do not like to see Africa quarreling. We do not like to see two African countries, especially brothers. These are neighboring countries, which we know in Africa, if you are my neighbor, there's 99 chances or possibilities that your people are my people are your people. We were just divided by these silly, useless borders. And seeing Ethiopia and Somalia not seeing face to face was really breaking our hearts, because it causes a lot of tension amongst countries. The neighbors, the citizens themselves start having these attitudes towards each other. They even start looking at each other as enemies. Even trade amongst the two countries becomes very difficult. It is very difficult even for an Ethiopian to travel to Somalia, because it's like, your prime minister is doing this to our country, so you are also part of it, even if you have nothing to do with it. And to see them just holding hands and saying, let's talk about this. Let me not go behind your back and betray you. Somaliland, there's still tensions whether Somaliland is accepted as a sovereign country, or is it still part of, Somalia's territory. So many things are happening, and just to see them, now going through Somaliland, a country that Somalia does not recognize because they feel like it's theirs. It was breaking our hearts, because at the end of the day, this could have caused a lot of tension, even maybe breaking to, very dangerous fights. And we really didn't want to see that happening. So we welcome this news with both hands, and we're hoping that whatever decision the two countries will come up with, they will be beneficial to both countries, because Ethiopia does feel like they need to have direct access. And, Ethiopia is very unfortunate. I've always said this. These borders were imposed on us. The only solution for me was first remove these borders. Let us just recognize ourselves as maybe East African bloc. You're part of the East African bloc, so there's no border within the East African bloc. If you want to have direct access to the sea, whether from the side of Somalia, of Kenya, or Tanzania, you can freely do that, and nobody will say, this is my territory, this is my ocean, or this is my piece to the ocean, so you can't have access. You need to go through my country, you need to pay taxes here and here. You need to, there's just too much logistics that has to go into play for countries to be able to transport goods and to be able to import and export their goods. Ethiopia is a growing economy. I repeat that. They do deserve the port. They do deserve to have direct access. Very unfortunate circumstances, very unfortunate situation in which they find themselves in. But we are just hopeful that whatever decision that they come up with, Somaliland will be, open to giving them, access, whether direct or indirect, and, with a few or little taxes, or, with some things that make sense, honestly, because the African Continental Free Trade Area is something that we have not seen the great benefits of this whole idea, honestly. And for me, it would start with just two neighboring countries opening up to each other, removing tariffs, taxes. You are in Ethiopia, we are trading with you, it's open, it's free, our people can do businesses amongst each other, and I think that is the best way we can do it before we can even say continental free trade area, whatever, something that will take time for us to see the real benefits. And for Ethiopia and Somalia to have reached this agreement, kudos to you guys, kudos for being the bigger people, both of you for saying, we'll sit down, we'll talk. We're hoping that by February or in February, we'll get better and greater news coming from this agreement. Brothers and sisters, let me know what you think about this in the comment section down below. If you are from Ethiopia, what are you hoping? What are you wishing will happen? What kind of decisions do you hope for? What kind of decisions would you like to hear coming out of this discussions by Somalia and Ethiopia? Let us know. If you're from Somalia, I know some of you were really, really angry at some point that Ethiopia is invading your territory, and it's not right. Let us know, what are your feelings about this? What would you like your country to do for Ethiopia? What kind of agreement would you be accepting of? Let us know in the comment section down below. If you'd love to support us, we still have Sahel Heads. The link is in the description box down below. We also have Buy Me a Coffee link in the description box down below. We also have super thanks, super chats, and a special shout out to our brother Charles Lively 5300. That's your username. Thank you so much for the super thanks. We appreciate your support. Be blessed. And all our brothers and sisters who've been buying us coffees, thank you so much. We will forever be grateful. See you in the next one. Bye.